How is it going, everybody? My name is Copyright, and today we're gonna start the Christmas time. And this is a Naya synergy deck, so we are in colors white, red and green, and I come up with the idea because I was preparing a deck for you, a different one with a Bard class, and the problem there was I encounter so much Izzet and so much MonoWhite. I don't know why I'm constantly get matched up against these people who try to climb the rank really fast with these high meta decks, but then I thought, okay, legendaries don't work, let's try something else, and what can be better and what can be more different than Naya in the current standard, because in previous expansions, you know, maybe Naya was one of the strongest colorations. In these expansions or in current standard, Naya is maybe not in the best spot, but we are gonna maybe change it with this deck, because so far I played few games and I had a really nice win rate, also a really nice success with this deck, and this deck is really synergistic. Let's check out some main synergies in the deck, and then in the gameplay you will definitely see what I mean, that almost every card has synergy in this deck, and this is really nice and really smooth to play, especially. So I try to build it around Creepy Puppeteer. You see, maybe we have 2 of, you can maybe also run 3 of, but I have a really high draw rate of this card. I had it almost in every game, or I draw it, especially because we have so much card draw also. You don't see it maybe instantly, but we have sneaked in here the Welcoming Vampire and also Showdown of the Skald that can draw us a lot of cards. Sometimes I even was scared to mill myself. I had a game where I finished the game with 6 cards left in my library, so we can draw really much cards. Let's check out first the overall deck idea is we're gonna poop out a lot of small creatures, make them with counters big, Ranger class and Aspirant, and of course our Felidar Retreat provides us with counters, but also with Vigilance here and some creatures. And then we're gonna make these small creatures really big with our Puppeteer. How big? I mean, we are talking about turn 4, 11 or 12 damage. So if you play against Izzet, you have really good chance with this deck. I have really good win rate against Izzet. I think I lost 1 and won 3 against Izzet colorations. And if you see that the opponent is tapped out, you can go so fast in with this deck. Important note for this deck is, and this is maybe one of the highlight points, is know what you're playing against, right? If you know that you are playing against a Izzet counterspell deck or a Izzet bounce deck that can return a lot of creatures, have passion and patience, and know what your opponent could have in their hand, and always expect the worst things, like Divide by Zero or Fading Hope, because those are the most things they will have. And this is why try to play maybe around these things, or play the things that you want to be Divide by Zero and you want to be Fading Hoped into these spells. So just to have the opponent use these spells without really causing a lot of damage. And I'm talking like, don't play Showdown the Scald if they have 3 mana open for Divide by Zero, right? Because you waste your whole turn, you tapped out, you spend 4 mana, and then you need to replay it next turn again. Better play maybe something else, like, I don't know, Creepy Puppeteer. They will maybe also Divide by Zero it, but it's not a big loss, because next turn you can maybe Showdown the Scald and play something smaller again, right? So know what you're playing against, plan your next step with this deck, because it's important that because we have so many tools with haste, you see maybe Minsk provide us with a haste creature, we have the tools to make a lot of damage out of nowhere. This is where you need to use your head a little bit. There is a point where I cannot prepare you for this. You will maybe see it in the gameplay part. I also make sometimes some mistakes or dumb decisions that I thought, I should have known it, I should have been prepared for it. Otherwise, other synergy, of course, Welcoming Vampire draws a lot of cards. Olenbok Escort has here a huge synergy because he can make things indestructible, and our Moonveil Regiment is amazing card with our Minsk. Let's put you away. With Minsk, because if you have Moonveil on the board and you play Minsk, you instantly draw 3 cards, and this is also just amazing card advantage and amazing synergy. Felidar Retreat has multiple purposes here, and especially against MonoWhite. This is a killer card because you start making everything big, everything has vigilance, everything can go in and make a lot of damage, so MonoWhite has difficult time to recover from it. From mana base, I have 21 land, but you see maybe we have here some double-sided lands with Spikefield Hazard and Shadowscar Smashing. Shadowscar Smashing, I'm sorry. You can go maybe a little bit more up, but I don't know what really to exclude from this deck because I had such a nice time with this deck, and the mana base is really smooth. You see it maybe 1 of each land for just the annoying Field of Ruins to remove it if you need to fetch some lands, and also the rest is 4 pathways of each coloration, and then 2 of these new double-landed cards that come in tapped when you have untapped when you have 2 or more lands, so 2 of each here. The lands are really amazing, really smooth. This is why I also like this deck. And important note also for you, don't start without green mana, because green mana is really important. Red you can draw always later on, or you can fix your red mana with Sentinel, but green is always necessary. White is also really necessary. So you can start without red easily, but always keep in mind green is one of the main colors. Even if we have only few green cards at the beginning, we need them to fix our mana, but also do other things to have maybe mana advantage or maybe have some other synergies. On this point, let's mention a little bit more the sideboard, because the sideboard is not something for best of 3. The sideboard is just some inclusions that can also be done against if you're facing a lot of Dimir control or Izzet control or other cards. Talia is of course really nice. If you include Talia, I definitely recommend you to exclude some of our non-creature spells like Fateful Absence or the Stance, because Talia makes also your cards a little bit more expensive. Showdown of the Scald is also more expensive. Then Elita Spellbinder, of course, amazing card against any sort of control decks, and Redain. At the beginning I was running 2 of Redains, and I draw both of them against, also I draw some of them against Izzet control, but I didn't saw the impact so high, because if the opponent is already so high in front, you don't really need this taxing for +2, right? The small instances and sorceries that Izzet decks usually run, they are under 3 mana, so like Divide by Zero or Fading Hope, they are not taxed by the Redain, so this is why I put her away. But if you face a lot of like Dimir control or Azorius control, there you can easily include some Redains and some Talias to just make it a little bit more expensive. Also maybe an interesting card to include, let me show you here fast, it's the Paladin class. The Paladin class is I think a really nice inclusion against against the Hullbreaker decks, because it's a big deal if the opponent needs to pay 1 more extra mana on your turn for Hullbreaker, because you know maybe this turns opponent maybe plays Windfall, discards a card, creates some treasures, and suddenly they are on turn 5 and 7 mana, so they can play already the Hullbreaker on your turn, or maybe save what you're doing and stuff like this. With Paladin class, this plays on your turn, get extra taxed. This is why most likely the opponent will play the Hullbreaker or on their turn, so you can deal with it, and they are tapped out. You can deal with it with Faithful Absence or with Stance. Or they are forced to wait one turn longer, and this one turn longer can maybe give you already a win. So this is also maybe a favorable inclusion if you thinking about add some Paladins class if you have issues against Hullbreaker or this blue card, but you will see it on the screen. I will edit it in. Yeah, this is so far for the deck, guys. As I said, this is sideboard against more controlish type of decks, but I had pretty good win rate against control. And let's go straight into the gameplay, see how our game goes. And after the video, I want to wait with the upload of this video. Of course, for you it will no matter. But Magic Arena announced some special announcements or some special news, and they should be making it in 2:30, I think, or 3 p.m. So I will wait with the upload so I can, at the end of the video, I can include this announcement and the news that they are making. So if you're interested in the news, stay until the end or just skip to the end and check it out. There you can find more what's happening in the Magic world. Otherwise, let's go straight into the gameplay part. I will again try to explain all the synergies and all the possibilities while we are playing, so you have a basic understanding how to pilot this deck. Here we go with our first opponent. This is Briar. And the hand on the go especially is pretty nice. I like it. So always pay attention that you have maybe something on 1 or latest on turn 2 to play, especially if you're on the play. So we can play Escort into Lumi and then maybe just chill and protect our creatures so opponent cannot interact with it. And red mana we have covered just in case we draw Showdown of the Scald or something else that requires red. So let's open with the white source and the Escort. And then we go with the green source and the Lumi. Okay, it looks like opponent is a red deck, so most likely they hold something to remove our Lumi. Okay, the egg is not the worst. Should we kill the egg now? This is a good question, right? If we kill it, we go for 4. I think they have also some instances where they try to pump the egg. Okay. Okay, let's do it like this. Just because we drew our Ranger class, we're gonna go tapped land into the Ranger. Otherwise I would have played a second Lumi, but I'm a little bit scared how much things my opponent can remove, and I don't want them remove so much. Next turn we can maybe play Lumi, or we can pump Ranger class and then keep up the stance open, because I think my opponent has some sweepers in the hand. And he has bounce spells, definitely. Definitely bounce spells. Okay, this is not the worst. And he foretold most likely Epiphany? Most likely Epiphany. Am I scared of a burn spell? I don't think so, right? Because I'm not scared of the burn spell, we're gonna play you, and you go to level. You and you, we play you for white too, I think, because we have mostly white here. And then we're gonna pump you. And the doggy can be pumped too. So let's see what our opponent has next on the board. And from this turn on, maybe he will play the Windfall. Okay, Alliteration is not the worst. As long as we have stance open, is everything fine? Next turn I can put 3 counters, right? 1, 2, and somewhere like on the Spirant tree. Let's see what our opponent has. Another land is not the most useful, but let's see. Now I wanna keep on the stands open, just in case opponent finds a way to somehow make the egg bigger. Opponent takes 5. Okay, oh, goes down to 5. Okay, this is not the worst. Let's see if opponent has Epiphany. And this is maybe where Talia will be amazing, right? It will tax him for 1 turn at least. And this is great. Opponent looks like he wants to interact on my turn. Okay, Puppeteer is amazing draw. It's a really, really good draw. The opponent is looking at lethal now. So let's put it here. Let's put here. Each one gets one. And Puppeteer has amazing draw. As you saw, we have only 2 of them in the deck. The opponent wants to do what? Tell me. Okay. This is not the worst. Divide by 0. Divide by 0. Okay. We're gonna kill you. Divide it. You're dead still, I think. Doesn't matter what you divide. Okay. It's still lethal. Briar, good game. Let's go to another one. And you saw against the previous opponent, our first game again, Izzet. Somebody think I'm important, I'm sorry. Against Izzet, it's really, really nice because they don't know what to bounce. If they bounce something that is just 1 mana, basically they lost mana, especially if we divide by 0. Fading Hope is another story, but this is why Fading Hope is one of the best cards in the current standard because it's just 1 mana and give you Scry and give you time. This is a really difficult hand. If I would have an untapped green land, it will be amazing. Otherwise, Jesus, should we try? Because we are on the play, we can go turn 1 tap land, turn 2 ranger class, and turn 3 even maybe vampire, right? And then start drawing cards with it. And Reggie is a topper, card draw non-stop is also pretty nice. Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, looks like an aggressive deck. The ranger class will take care of it so far. Maybe goblins even. Cool lands though, bro. Cool lands, I like it. Oh, you have different lands everywhere. Shred training. I appreciate your wheel. Okay, we didn't draw another land. This is a little bit annoying. And let's prepare, I would say. Let's stay back. I don't want a Battlecry Goblin to attack. It's annoying that we didn't draw the land. Okay, Bandit Lord. Okay, I want to kill you. Let's see what he decides to kill first. Sentinel or Wolfie? Okay, Wolfie is a very good choice for me. Red, white, white. We are more in white, right? Let's go white. And now We go... As much as I want to play Vampire, I think I don't have the time to play Vampire, because if I spend all the mana on it, it will be painful for me. This is why I think I'm gonna play Ranger class and keep the Fateful Absence open. I think this is a much smarter decision to do than to go for the card draw, especially because we have a lot of card draw in the hand. Right, Reckless is okay. Let's see what our opponent will draw. And then we can... Then we can even combo trick our opponent. Okay, Goblin Javelin here. Okay. Pass. He goes all in. This is interesting choice. So let's do it. Let's do it how? Wolf protects you. We take 1 damage, it's okay. Right? I think so. Especially because he has so much thing is going on here. Okay, the opponent wants to kill it. I'm not mad about it. Puppeteer. Okay. Puppeteer is not the best draw that I was hoping for, but okay. We are going to play what? I think Welcoming Vampire will help me against the Goblin Massacre here. And we are gonna stay back. Okay, Adversary cannot pay, and Pit Fighter cannot do nothing too. Another Pit Fighter. This is nice. Very, very aggressive start here. Okay, how do we do that? If I play you, I'm gonna tap out, so I'm gonna play you, and I'm gonna play Reggie, and just chill with Reggie on the board. Another Goblin, okay. Goblin Lord is not bad. Pop the clue. Get your card. Let's see if opponent wants to do something. No, he doesn't. Then we're gonna play you. And this is the pure value, you see here. I don't wanna discard it, but sure, why not, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, it's an aggressive take. No, we don't discard it. We discard it maybe next time. Okay, we drew even a white land, this is good. And now we're gonna draw additional card with our Vampire. Yeah, Ranger class is good. And we're gonna do what? Gonna attack, I think, with the Welcoming. And then just chill. Then we're gonna just chill. The opponent goes all in. This is an interesting attack. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Which one are you blocking? It's so annoying to see what they are blocking. Opponent has maybe this Goblin thingy. Oh no, make your mark is okay. Still not enough. And I have creatures for ages. Okay, this is also a really good draw. Then we're gonna play you. We're gonna play you. Okay, my opponent had enough. Basically outvalued the opponent. I think this is a really good representation of this Naya deck. And we level up straight to the next Platinum rank, Tier 3. Yeah, I'm surprised to see Goblins making an appearance with some hasty Vampires. So like Goblin Vampire synergy maybe. But you see here, this is basically also how the game goes against MonoWhite. The only thing for MonoWhite is that they are not getting bigger, the creatures mostly, because sometimes they just run Aspirant, and if you deal with Aspirant is no problem, like we dealt with the Goblin here. But with MonoWhite is simply the same. You gain control of the board, you bring the opponent in the state where they almost have no cards, and you draw like endless cards, but you still have your creatures, you still have your things to provide damage, but also to provide blocking. And especially with Felidar Retreat on the board, we can suddenly start giving them Vigilance, go in on the face, still keep the blockers, and if with our All-in-Book we can even give them Indestructible if we need to. So this is how we close out the games against more aggressive deck. I think this is good representation. First game against Izzet, now against aggressive deck. Amazing. Let's check out another one. CDTNZ. I go first, but we don't have Greenland. You see, this is, for example, the best example I mentioned in my intro. Do not start the games without Greenland, because white and red will not bring us way further, or in a position where we will be with green in the hand. This is why we're gonna mulligan this, and this looks much better. Because we are on the play, we don't need stance right now. And we're gonna open with green? No, wait. This is green. Yeah, we're gonna open with this green. Almost made a mistake. Because we need our white for Aspirant. Okay, blue. Maybe blue Delver. I also saw some people playing a lot of Delver decks. And Delver decks are nice. They're really good. But in the current standard with Delver is, I think, really difficult to play around. And just in case opponent has maybe a burn spell, we put it on Aspirant. Okay, he has most likely a kill spell. So let's see, opponent maybe try to kill our Aspirant. We're gonna of course protect it. Opponent wastes 2 mana and I invest only 1 mana, so this is where you win on the go. And Ranger class can bring us a little bit further. We go here with you and you. And we're gonna pump it. Put a counter on her. Just to go for a little bit more damage. I'm thinking that opponent will remove it next turn. Otherwise, I think opponent runs enough of spot removals. But I wanna bring Aspirant out of the reach of Midhook Massacre. This looks like a Dimir control deck, yeah, definitely. And he has Fading Hope. Okay, Fading Hope is not the worst. Now we're gonna bring out our... Oh, not token, I think it's just Sentinel. Is better to bring out of the reach. And let me see the mana base. We need a little bit more green. Then we can play you and have 3 mana. This is not enough. So let's make it like this, because I think Midhook Massacre is incoming. Make this a little bit bigger. And another land on top is not the best thing we can have, but sure. And now basically we are trying to play as much... Ah, Jesus, what's with the lands? I run 21 land, just that you know, and we have already almost all draws our lands. Bounce spell? Sure. Midhook Massacre for 2, next turn for 3. So he can or bounce it with Fading Hope, of course. Or do nothing. Memory Deluge, okay. So now if opponent plays Midhook Massacre, still my token will survive. And next turn we can even go for lethal, I think. Is it 5-6? No, one damage is missing. So if you draw Puppeteer, it's lethal. And Puppeteer can be any chance here. Liar, okay. Liar is not the worst thing here. Because we can also kill the Liar. We will, of course, not being able to play our... Where is the way to win? 1, 2. Where is the way to put my opponent into a position where he's forced to block? Okay. 1, 2. It will be 2, 3. No, he can block it easily. Okay, let's kill it. Let's kill it then, and maybe he has a second one. And keep on the pressure. Just one damage, huh? That's a little bit sad, but okay. Welcoming Vampire will definitely help me with Lumi together to come back from... Oh, nice removal spell. You need to remove this one too. Okay, Power Word kill. Opponent is not suffering on removals, and this is okay. We play Welcoming, and we play Lumi, and look this energy. Boom. Okay, another land on top. Amazing, amazing. Mid-hook will still kill both. It's okay. Yes. Good game, my friend, good game. Yeah, this is another good representation how we can go against control. You saw maybe what was the difference here is, I think the Olenbok. Everybody who says Olenbok is not good enough... Wait. Go to graveyard. Everybody who says Olenbok is not good enough, I hope you see this game, because here we basically bring out our Aspirant out of the reach of Mid-Hook Massacre because the opponent, of course, tried to remove it, and then most likely he had. I would love to see his hand, but sadly Arena don't allow us to do that. Maybe the announcement that will happen at the end of the video will bring some cool changes, maybe we can see. But bring out of the reach of mid-hook, so opponent cannot effectively play mid-hook, our creature constantly getting bigger, and opponent wasted removal and mana just to deal with, let's say, our 1/1, right? So this is a best representation where Olenbok just shines in this sort of matchups, and this is why we have a good chance against control-ish type of decks. So our next, and I think it's the last opponent, we have already 4 games in a row. Benko. Benko, you sound really familiar. And this hand looks really, really nice. Minsk, maybe something to draw cards, but I'm certain we can find something. So let's open up with the Pathway. Bring out a Sentinel. And all my kitties are here around me now. And the doggies. Okay, and then we bring you for... what, for white? Let's go for white. One time you. And... you will play the pack leader next turn, right? Okay. Because he's gonna play pack leader next turn, let's bring all our creatures out. Our creatures. There goes Sculptor of Winter. Okay, very nice, very nice. How do we do that? We bring you out? Sure, right? Why not? Next, nothing, nothing. Keep everything back. Right now we are missing or card draw or some sort of pump spells or like counters, Ranger class or Lumi will be nice. Kazandu Mammoth is not scary, but he can maybe fight now. He doesn't want to fight, this is amazing. This is really, really good. And from now on, I wanna keep my Sentinel in the hand just in case we draw a Welcoming Vampire or something else. And how we can do this is a really good question. This can make for how much can we go? For 3. I don't want to trade with anything, to be honest. 1 to 3 because I want to have stance open. Right? But we need to provide some damage. Okay, let's do that. Let's go here with you for 3. We auto-paid. Let's see what our opponent will do next. I'm really happy if he trades Escort against Mammoth, because Escort has no targets now at all, and we have 2 of it. And she also has Vigilance, so we attack with a 3/3 Vigilance. That initially was a 1/1, this is by Misk also, really, really nice. And don't forget about this ability, it's a sorcery. So I sometimes forget it, that you can maybe use it as a combat trick, but no, it's a sorcery, you cannot use it as a combat trick. Now let's see if opponent has maybe a fight spell. We're gonna put our Escort in the way. Escort can die. It's a good attack, but I think he has a fight spell. Definitely Blizzard Brawl or something like this. It's really, really good. Maybe he plays around stance, but I don't think so. Mono green don't expect it. And this card shines against mono green really much. So maybe he tries to remove our Minsk so we cannot go back to his face. And currently I think we are the aggressor. As long as the opponent don't have a bigger board, a ranger class is okay. And all control. This will be a really strong. Okay, now opponent has Snake Surveil. He is playing around with Snake Surveil because Winter can untap the land. And what is wrong with this game? Why with 21 lands I'm drawing so much lands? What's wrong with you? We don't need white. Let's go for red. And now we can go for 4, right? 4 on you. Autoplay. 4 on you. And then we go in with you and you. Let's see what our opponent wants to do. No, opponent doesn't want a double rocket. 7 damage, my friend. 7 damage. This is a lot. Okay. Banco. So until now I'm really happy how we play. The only thing that I'm not happy about is how many lands we drew. With 21 land in the deck. But sure. Opponent tries to fight it. Opponent is playing around stance, bro. It's really nice. I know that you play around it. That's a really smart play. Really smart play. He didn't drop a land or anything. He basically just Blizzard Brawling. Poor, so I cannot target the Mammoth, so he don't need to spend how you call it? Need to spend Snake Surveil. And I think he still has Snake Surveil, right? Most likely. Okay. 4 mana. Primary, okay. You cannot pay it. But he still has... Ah, Jesus, what is with these lands? Can somebody explain to me what's wrong with it? So now I can have 2 decisions, right? I can fake that I have another Saints in my hand. Or I can go all in with my Escort. Or maybe even with the Hamster. I kinda like it, because he's forced to block him. How much is this? 6, 7. For 7, right? Let me see. Yeah, this is 6. Perfect mana, 2, 2, 2. And this is 7. So let's go for 7. We tap you. And now opponent will maybe block even with everything. Let's see. This is 7. Yeah, let's go. I want to keep Minsk alive as long as I can. 7 with trample. The hamster doing his work, huh? Cool art, by the way. I like this art. Also how he's smiling here. Looks a little bit like the porn star actor. Opponent is taking 7. Okay, interesting, interesting. Okay. And I think even with Minsk we can kill our creatures if we give them 0. I'm not sure about it, never tried it out, why should I, right? But, okay, opponent goes all in, and I think theoretically we can even take it, right? 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, yeah, we can take it, or he maybe has, what, +2/+2 counters, then it is 4, 8, 10, 15. Then it's exactly 15. Fuck. If you give the +2/+2 counters. So, okay, let's go here. If you give the Inscription of Abundance, give the +2/+2 counters on something, then I should have blocked a Wolfie, right? It will be smarter. Yeah, I should have blocked the Wolfie or the Winter. This would have been a smarter play. But let's see. Okay. It was a misplay on my side. A misplay from my side. Oof! Oh! Oh! He has Snake Surveil! Yeah, la fitta. The draw was not the best, but show me the Snake Surveil. Oh no, he doesn't! He doesn't! Yes! Benko, I love you! Yes! Oh, Jesus! He didn't have Snake Surveil. I was 110% sure he has Snake Surveil, but maybe Inscription of Abundance. Yeah. But Inscription of Abundance would have saved him if you give him lifelink. No, so he also didn't play around Inscription of Abundance. That's weird. That's weird. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this deck. I love this deck so far. It has a huge synergy. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If there are any additions, or if you struggle with something, or if you don't have the wildcards. If you ask me if it's worth to craft Minsk with the wildcards, definitely not. If you have one copy of it, it's okay. If you want to craft one copy, it's also okay. He's good synergy with Moonveil to draw 3 cards when you discard something. Otherwise, Minsk is literally just a pure addition. On the 3-drop, especially in these colorations, you can have so much important things, so much important creatures that you can replace Minsk, right? Otherwise, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I will be glad to help you out, or give you any advice or any help, or answer your questions whenever you have something. Now let's go to the news. For you, it will be just a few seconds. For me, I will wait until the news are finished so I can record it, and in the outro, so let's say, and then you can hear and see what Arena has next. Something special they said on the Twitter, what they have next for us. I hope you enjoy it. So, and here we are back with the news. Finally, it's over. For me, it's already 6:30, so it began at 5:30. Pretty late. I didn't expect this. But okay, let's go through the changes and through the announcement that they made that should be so big and huge for Arena, and there actually are. Wizard of the Coast introducing a new play mode that is digital only, called Alchemy. And here you see it on your screen. It will be introduced to Arena on December 9th, so just in few days you will be able to play it and to experience yourself. And let's get through a little bit what it is and what it does. So as I already said, this is a first digital only format, and this gives Wizard of the Coast in general a little bit of play time or play room to play around with the cards and balancing them better. This is what I like the most about this format, and in general the community, I think, received it more negatively than they should. I saw a lot of people, I watched it on Twitch live stream. They are still doing the live stream and making their Q&A, but I think I know everything. All the things that I want to know, I write it down so I can go with it with you through. So I think this is a good, healthy environment to introduce this sort of format, because the Arena format, as we know right now digitally, is a really, let's say, a format that gets tired really fast. People playing much more games in digital format from Magic the Gathering than in paper. For example, the amount of games you're playing in digital, so on the Arena, is much higher than you play in paper. And automatically, because you see every card playing all over again, you're getting tired of it. Compared to Magic, you play maybe in the amount you're playing in the Arena, you play maybe 1 game while you play in Arena 5 games. Let's say like this. I think this is a good number, because before in paper, before people are ready, before you roll a dice, before you set everything up, before you count, shuffle, everything, it takes so much time. So I think I would even say a digital, you will play 10 digital games in the time you play one paper game. This is why digital format gets much more reused, much more tiring over a short amount of time. And this is a thing where Alchemy comes really, really good in the play. But let's check first out what Alchemy does in general. So Alchemy includes all standard sets and rotates when standard goes. But Alchemy will regularly rebalance cards. Alchemy will incorporate digital-only mechanics, and Alchemy adds supplements cards with each prime set. So which is set release. Alchemy is not a replacing for anything. Standard will continue to exist on Arena and be aligned with the paper format. Owning a rebalance card gives you every version of that card. So let's start here first why I think it's a great thing. At first, I also said in the stream that the rebalance can happen like this, like nothing, right? It's out of nowhere. If they see, okay, some card overperform, some card underperform, and we will look on some card changes later on. They will change this with the next update, with the next maintenance. They can change the card really, very flexible. This will not affect, of course, the paper. This is purely just digital format only. And this is what I think really, really cool. They, for example, rebalance Jessica Chariot. She costs the same. She does almost the same. But when she comes to the play, instead of 2 tokens, cat tokens, you create 1 token, and her crew cost reduced from 4 to 2. So you can still do the same things, but it's just a little bit of balance how many cards you get, how many creatures for 1 spell you will be provided, right? Right now you will get 3 creatures for 4 mana, and this is huge for Jessica Chariot. But with Alchemy, if you play Alchemy, it will be 4 mana for 1 cat token and 1 artifact that you can crew cheaper, so still with this cat token, but it will just be a little bit less. For example, like life gain, it will be less, blinking, it will be less, right? If opponent deals with this cat token, it will be maybe more favorable for the opponent. So this card is a little bit more nicer, but still really powerful because you can still copy the tokens, you can still play it as a combo with Ren and 7. So this is some sort of changes that I like really, really much. And let's check out some of the changes that they already introduced, and there will be much more. And then we will gonna talk about some key points, also how you acquire the cards and stuff like this. So for example, let's check first Faceless Heaven. You see maybe the rebalance instantly, and in the rebalance, you see here Faceless Heaven that is rebalanced. It has this small A from Arena on it, so it's played only in Alchemist and in Historic. Big thing, right? If people, especially if people playing Historic a lot, I think this will be a really, really nice inclusion, but also addition, or maybe be really annoying, who knows. But I'm not a Historic player. I play it sometimes when I miss my nights, but otherwise I stay with Standard. And this is the rebalanced Face of 7, so basically almost the same, just that instead of 4-3, it's a 3-3, right? So there is not much changes that we see here. But let's get another bigger hit, and this is Alrund's Epiphany, all our favor. And the first glance, you don't see maybe a lot of changes, but you see maybe Foretell cost is now higher. So Foretell costs the same as the spell itself. But if you foretell Epiphany now, only then you will get your 2 1/1 flying bird creature tokens. So this is maybe a big thing because opponent already invest 9 mana in it to foretell it, and then to cast it for 7 to just have this creature token, so they cannot chain the Epiphanies in each other with multiple spells and just kill you with the bird tokens if they have like, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them, whatever, and they just swing on you without you even taking steps or taking phases. So this is, I think, also really, really nice addition, and this can always, as I said, they can always balance it, they can always change it a little bit up. Then, of course, this opportunity, because it's only digital format, it's not paper format, gives them the opportunity or the chance to create cards that are more digital friendly than in paper. And here we come with a keyword that is used on a lot of cards that they previewed, and they previewed only 10 cards. It will be altogether 63 cards, and all these cards for Alchemy are themed around the current set that is coming out. So right now it's Crimson Vow or Innistrad in general, not only Crimson Vow but also Midnight Hunt. So Innistrad is the team, so this is why they all had a lot of cards that are themed around it. And in the future we will have around 30 cards for Alchemy with each expansion. They will be all themed around the expansion, right? So next expansion that will come out, I forgot the name now, is the Cyberpunk team. So there will be another 30 cards that will be separately added to Alchemy, the digital only format, in the theme of the Cyberpunk, right? So this is also, I think, something cool, gives us a little bit more play room, and also they will be balanced there, right? If there are some broken cards or cards that are not fitting in standard, they can easily balance it there. And if you say, oh, I'm so tired of standard, I'm hating to play against the same decks all over again, you can just change to Alchemy and then play there the decks that you want, the ways that you want to play it. And the interesting part about this is if you acquire a copy of a card that is in Alchemy, like through the normal packs and stuff like this, you will automatically have them rebalanced in the Alchemy. So you don't need to unlock the card extra. This is also, I think, something really cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to play Alchemy. So let's check out the first cards that are definitely perpetually better in Alchemy. And this is our Patient Zero. It's a 2-mana 2/2 zombie with lifelink, and it says damage isn't removed from creatures your opponent control during clean-up steps. And this is just an amazing way to introduce this digital-only format, because imagine in paper, you apply damage, you need to put some sort of tokens on each creature, how much damage they got, so they don't get cleaned up on the untap step. So if I don't know, if you have a creature that is a 5/5 and you block with it, and you block a 3/3 with it, yeah, let's say you block the Pack Leader, and it's now a 5/2 because the damage was applied, and then you play a Patient Zero, this 5/2 do not go back to 5/5. It stays 5/2 and as long as the Patient Zero is on the board. So opponent needs to deal with it first, otherwise they cannot block again, or they cannot do maybe attack again with a 5/5 because the damage is not cleaned up. So this is a really cool introduction, I think, for the digital format. But also all other cards are based around this mechanic that it's digital only and the game remembers and do everything for you. The next card is the Captain Eberhard, and it's a German name, Eberhard. 2-mana 1/1 double striker, a legendary human soldier, and it says spells cast from among cards you drew this turn cost 1 less to cast, and spells cast from among cards your opponent drew this turn cost 1 more to cast. And this is also an amazing example for why in digital this card works and in paper not. In paper, people can cheat with it, right? People say, oh, I just drew it. Or otherwise, you always need to have a coach or somebody, or like a referee, somebody standing next to you to checking the cards in the background, what you drew right now and what your opponent drew right now, and if this cost applies or not. It will be a huge effort to make something like this in paper. But in digital format, this is possible because the game knows what you drew this game, what your opponent drew this game, so you can be sure nobody will be cheating there, right? And this is also a really, really cool idea, I think. Also a really nice card. It's legendary, so you can only have one of, but you can maybe build a tax deck where this plays a huge role because you suddenly can play more and cheaper, and your opponent needs to pay more for their top decks or their cards that they currently drew. So this is really, really cool. Then another cool card, and I don't have all of them, I just took some that I find really interesting. This is in Celestial Acceleration Begin Anew. It's a green and white for a sorcery, and it says destroy all creatures, and then creature cards in your hand potentially get +1/+1. So if you destroy it, it's like interesting card because usually you don't want to have this sort of cards in your creature deck, but here you can sweep the board and still when you play your creatures that you had in your hand, they are stronger. So this is maybe also something really, really cool that you can also do, I think, in digital only. And then let's see, the last card that I have for you, it's a blue card, Absorb Energy, 3 mana, 2 of them blue, instant, and it says counter target spell. Cards in your hand that shares a card type with the spell perpetually gains this spell cost 1 less to cast. So this is also a really interesting thing, but also, as I said, again, digital only possible. because who knows what you had in your hand that will cost less and stuff on like this. But actually, this sort of decks in blue looks more to counter other maybe creature-based spells, but this spell allow you maybe to focus more on instant and sorcery because you have more instant and sorceries to cast them cheaper. Because if you counter it for 3 mana, it's not the best, let's say, right? Counter a creature spell with it, and you don't play creatures at all, or maybe you play the Hullbreaker Horror, right? But if you don't have other creatures at all, it brings you nothing at the end. So to have the biggest value, you have maybe to play a little bit smarter, a little bit different, but also as opponent, you maybe want to, if you're a creature-based aggression deck, you then maybe don't want to cast your instant and sorceries because you think, okay, maybe my opponent have absorb energy and can cast their instant and sorceries cheaper if I play this now. So this is also, I think, a really, really cool inclusion. Yeah, this is, as I said, there will be, for this set on the 9th December, there will be 63 new cards themed all around Innistrad, Crimes and Vow, and Midnight Hunt. With each set release, there will be around about 30 cards, they said. Yeah, balancing can happen on the fly, so anytime some balance can happen. How you acquire the cards is pretty simple. As they explained, after the set is released, there will be a separate, let's say, set in the store where you can get the Alchemy set that includes the cards from the new set, but also with a chance of drawing Alchemy. But also, if you have already all your wildcards and mythic wildcards, you also will apply cards from normal packs for Alchemy. So as far as I understood, it means if you invest a lot, and a lot of content creators, of course, investing like $200-300 each expansion to have all the cards, and then instead of the newer cards, newer copies, you just get these 20 gems and stuff like this. You for sure saw it somewhere. And here it is like this, as far as I understood. If you have all these sets, instead of this diamonds that you will have, you will start getting Alchemy cards out of it, and then I think you will start getting diamonds. This is how far as I understood. I tried to ask the guys on Twitch if they can answer me this question, but they didn't really saw my question because there are like, I think, 4,000 people watching and everybody spamming the chat. So it's almost impossible to ask this question. But as far as I understood, this is how it should work. This is the core. Yeah. Then I wrote down playable in Historic, so people who play Historic will be able to play the Alchemy cards that are rebalanced or balanced. And then for rank people who like to play rank, as I do, the rank will be shared through all the digital formats. So if you're playing Standard, Alchemy, or Historic, and you gain rank or lose rank, it will count for the same rank. So this is so far, let's say, even. Yeah, guys, I don't know, let me know your opinion down in the comments below. I'm definitely really interested what you think. I know a lot of people from chat were really not excited about it. And let's say I was hoping maybe for something more, maybe like two-headed giant or game modes like this where you can have fun more. But this is also an interesting approach, maybe to keep Magic the Gathering Arena fresh for a longer period of time, because now we know until the next expansion we need to wait until the end of February. So this will take a long of time, and with Alchemy we can keep it fresh. They can rebalance things, and I'm definitely happy to see some changes and to see them proactively maybe show some attempts to keep Magic Arena more interesting for players. I think it will be not beginner friendly. So if you're a beginner and you are entering Arena right now, I think it's a good time because you will catch up all these new things that are coming in with Alchemy. But otherwise, I think for people who coming after, it will be really difficult to enter because it will be just confusing to understand what is Alchemy, what is Standard, what is Historic, what is traditional Standard, right? We have so much things that people are already confused. And if you are entering new from some other games like, I don't know, Hearthstone or whatever, it will be maybe too hard for new people to get in. But otherwise, I think it's a really cool change. My opinion is maybe not the most favorable opinion, but I like it. I'm not, let's say I'm not excited for it, but I'm excited to test it out and see how much it will change my approach to the game. Like, will I be playing more Alchemy than I play the current Standard, or will I play Standard until it's so sucked out and so so annoying and old that I just change to Alchemy and say, okay, for the rest of the set until the new set come out, I will play on the Alchemy. So this is something I'm excited about myself to find out how I will like it. Otherwise, guys, it's already pretty late. I'm gonna get ready for the dinner, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Definitely, I played I think like 5 hours ago, but it's still Naya, amazing deck. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, yeah, I wish you a great night, and I hope thank you for your time definitely, and I hope to see you in the next one. Ciao.